Hi, and good morning, everyone. My name is Carly Bell, and I love to do machine embroidery tutorials. And today we are continuing with our Kimberbell sew along for the Star Spangled Beauty Ladder Quilt. And if I'm remembering right, I think this is class number 9. And we are going to do today, the tutorial is actually going to be on the biggest block on this ladder quilt, and it's called From C to C, and it's a big 12 by 10 sized block with an applique of a map of the United States on it. So I think it's going to be super cute. We're going to go over several techniques in today's class, but everything is going to be done in smaller hoops. I don't have a 10 by 12 hoop at the moment. And so we are doing everything on my Brother NQ 1700E, which has a max embroidery field of 6 by 10. But this can be done on as little as a 5 by 7 hooped embroidery machine. So if you have the PE 800, 900 Brother machine or something equivalent, you can still do this project even though you have a smaller hoop. So good morning, good morning. I hope you all had a beautiful Mother's Day yesterday. I had a very nice day. My kids tried really hard not to let me do anything, which meant that they had to do their own laundry yesterday because no one had clean uniforms to wear to school today. So that was really interesting. But they did a good job. They got it done. They had clean clothes to wear today, and I didn't really have to do it. So good news. So thank you. Good morning. I see Elsa and Lori and Dee and Linda. Linda, I'm sorry you're sick. I hope you feel better soon. Get yourself some rest. So hi, and I hope y'all are all having a great Monday morning. So if you're returning from last week, thank y'all for working with me. I had to postpone some of our classes last week. My husband was off of work all last week, and we got a few projects around the house done. Of course, we didn't get everything done that we were supposed to because the weather did not cooperate with us, and there was a lot of rain. And we were supposed to stain our deck in the backyard. That did not happen, but I'm not complaining, so it's okay. But I had a very good week. I had an excellent birthday, so thanks for all the birthday wishes last week. And yeah, so glad to get back into the sew along and work on today's block. One announcement that I had for you guys before I get started is if you have been waiting for me to open enrollment again for my enthusiast course, I opened it this morning. So if you have Embrilliance Enthusiast software and you really are not sure on how to use all the features, or maybe you were like me, like the main reason I bought Enthusiast was strictly for the knockdown stitch. And that function is very easy. But there are things about it that I didn't know and that I learned over the years on how to improve your knockdown stitch. And there's so many other really cool features that come with Enthusiast that give you like really advanced stitched editing tools. So I created a whole course breaking down all of those advanced tools found in Enthusiast. And I have the course is separated into 9 modules, and each module has 3 to even 5 or 6 lessons that break everything down for you step by step so that you can get the most out of your software. Enrollment recently has been closed, but I opened it back up. It is on sale this week for $97. The normal price is $147. And after this Friday, May 15th, the price is going to go up to the regular price. So enrollment's open. On YouTube, I was able to add a link to the sale, but Facebook would not let me. So if you are interested, just let me know. If you can't find the link, just email me at hello@carlybell.com and I will send you the link to the sale. All right, so that was the announcement I wanted to make for y'all today. And other than that, let's go ahead and get started. I did a little bit of prep work thinking that today's block was going to be a really, like, some things were going to take a lot longer to stitch, but they really weren't. So I'm going to leave it up to you, my friends that are watching live. The thing, where is it? I lost it already. Here we go. Let me show you. The thing that I stitched out ahead of time So for this block, let's find it in the book right here. So the block is an applique of the United States, and there are 2 applique flowers, like normal appliques, but there are also some freestanding lace flowers that are on there. Now, in the past, freestanding lace takes some time to stitch. Here it is here again. But so I did stitch these out ahead of time so that they would be ready, but they really did not take long at all to stitch. So I could stitch them again if anyone is new to freestanding lace and would like to see it. It's very, very, very simple. But I figured either way, I'll have them ready to go for today's class. But these are the cute little, what we call freestanding lace flowers. Okay, and there is a step on the applique where they're going to show you where to place these, and then it will stitch them down on top of your United States applique. So we can do this first if you would like, and then the next step is going to be pre-quilting our background fabric. So this block, I got my batting cut to size. This block is 10 by 12 inches. That's the final size, and that's what I cut my batting to be. My background fabric's a little bit bigger. I think, what is it? 10.5 by 12.5. And we are going to do the same procedure that we did last Monday, where we are going to pre-quilt this in several hoopings. And we're going to use our clear blue tiles in order to do it. Okay. So I'm thinking we'll do 3 hoopings of this. I think that's going to work beautifully. So it's 10 inches one way. I have a 10-inch hoop and I have a 10-inch tall tile. It's 12 inches this way. So my choices are, I could do 2 6 by 10 hoopings, or I could do 3 4 by 10 hoopings. One here, and one here. I think let's go with the smaller. The less hoopings, the better. So let me find my 6 by 10 hoop. My 6 by 10 tile. Pretty sure I have that. 4 by 8, 6 by 8, 8 by 8, 6 by 10. There we go. So 6 plus 6 is 12. Then we'll have 2 hoopings of this guy. So we went over how to use clear blue tiles in last class, and I also showed you my kind of cheating method that if you don't have clear blue tiles, what you can do is print out the background quilting design in the size that you're stitching for each hooping, and use these as a guide, just like the clear blue tiles, to mark. And what you're doing with the whole point of all of this is placement, figuring out where your design's going to fall, and pretty much drawing yourself some center cross marks that will allow you to figure out right where you need to center your hoop. So that's what we're doing with all of this. We are just pretty much using these things as guides to make several placement marks so that we know right each time with each hooping, we are hooping it right in the center of that particular space. So that is what all of these things do. All right, so that's going to be the process for today. We're going to do the freestanding lace flowers. We're going to hoop this. I'm going to do it 2 times. You're going to do it as many times as you need to, depending on your hoop. So if you have, your biggest hoop is 5 by 7, you're going to need to hoop this probably like what we did before. What did we do? So 4 by 6. So 6 plus 4 is 10. And these are 4 across. So you're going to do 6 hoopings. If you have a 5 by 7 hoop, you'll use a 4 by 4 background quilting design 3 times across the top. and then a 4x6 background quilting design 3 times across the bottom, and that will fill up your whole space. And when you're done, you won't be able to tell that you did that in separate hoopings. The background quilting will just kind of flow and look like you did it all in one hooping. Now, if you have a luminaire, I want to say this would not even work on my Stellaire. If you had a luminaire, an Avenir, a Solaris, a Radiance, or if you have a multi-needle machine that has bigger than a 10.5 by 12.5 inch hoop, you can do this the same way we've done all the other hoops, all the other blocks, where you can do your background quilting and your applique design all in one go. It's because I don't have a hoop big enough to do this is why I'm breaking it up into multiples. But I know we have some friends here that have larger machines. You don't have to worry about any of that. You can just pull up the 10 by 12 background quilting design and go. All right, once we are done with the background quilting, the actual applique of the United States fits in a 5x7 hoop. So all we're going to do is find the center of this block that we pre-quilted, and we're going to float it on a 5x7 hoop and just applique the United States right in the middle. We don't have to, this design doesn't have to be split in any sort of way. We do it all in one go. We're just going to end up floating this right in the center of a 5x7 hoop and stitch it out right here. Okay. So to start with the freestanding lace, let's do that. These are super tiny, and you just need a 4x4 hoop. And with this, you do need specialty stabilizer. You need wash away stabilizer. And I have some that's called Sew and Wash. But what this is a woven wash away. So this is not like your water soluble topper. This is sturdy, but dissolves in water. So, and I want you to use 2 layers of this. Whenever I do freestanding lace, I typically use 2 layers of a wash away. If you are in a situation where you don't have this kind of stabilizer right now, you may want to wait to come in. I have not tried it personally, but if you have a water soluble topper, like normal, topper that looks like this also dissolves in water, but this is very thin, and it gets perforated very easily. I don't think this is going to work for you, even if you did multiple layers. But if you have something for patches like Badge Master, I think, I want to say, I can't remember if that is water soluble or not. That's just like a thick plastic. The problem that you would run in with that is you see how the thread in the middle there, you don't want any stabilizer there. You want that to all wash away. So I really think this is your only option. And that's the woven wash away. So I have this, and I did not do a good job cutting this wide. There we go. And I folded it so I have 2 layers. And you're going to hoop this. So just the water wash away stabilizer. Okay. You're going to hoop that, make sure it's nice and taut, 2 layers. Now, the flowers, I'm using the teal color and the sky blue, and you need bobbins wound that match this. So notice you can't tell which side is which for these 2 flowers. The bobbin thread matches the top. So whenever you do freestanding lace, you want to wind a bobbin that matches your top thread color. Now, this one really doesn't matter that much because it's getting sewn into an applique, so you're never going to see the underneath. But I've made like freestanding lace earrings and ornaments, And that's when it really matters that your bobbin thread matches your top. So grab those two colors and wind bobbins for them. And you can send the design directly to the machine. So really quickly, here's what the design looks like. And it's already set with both of them. There's literally only 2 steps. Stitch the first one, stitch the second one. And it fits in a 4x4 hoop. So just send this directly to your machine. Okay. So I have not turned mine on, and I need my USB. And I'm gonna recall my previous one. So yeah, it's already there. Because I stitched it yesterday. So it was the last thing I stitched, so I could just recall my memory. I'm gonna load my teal thread. And thread my needle. And I'm going to load my pre-wound bobbin. Oh, it's not pre-wound. I wound it with the teal, same teal thread. Pull that through. Okay. Now, one little thing, you don't have to do this, but I like to, is I like to pull my bobbin thread up, and it prevents that nest happening on the back. This is probably more important when it is for the earrings and the ornaments where you're going to see the back of the design. But if you want to do this, right now my needle is in the center. It is not, I don't want to pull my bobbin thread up here because this is not where my design is going to start stitching. So I'm going to hit the needle plus minus button and just move ahead one individual stitch. That is now where my design is actually going to start stitching. And I'm going to run my thread through my foot, lower my needle, bring it back up, and pull my bobbin thread. Okay, hold it off to the side and let it start stitching. And as soon as it moves away, I can pause it and trim that tail. That's just going to prevent the nest on the back. I do this a lot for in the hoop projects, but I've also find myself doing it for freestanding lace. So I thought this was going to take forever to stitch because usually freestanding lace is very dense. However, the center of this design is not dense at all, like typical freestanding lace I've done in the past. So it literally only takes a couple minutes to stitch. That's why I did it yesterday, because I was thinking it was going to take 30 minutes, but not bad at all. Okay, yay, Linda got signed up for enthusiasts. I'm so excited. Ooh, yes. Patty, thank you for reminding me, because I got an email. And Brilliance has a 10% off sale coupon right now. And what is the coupon? It's a Mother's Day coupon. And it is Best Mom. So BESTMON. Okay. Best Mom. I'm going to put that in the comments for 10. For 10% off at Embrilliance. Okay, I think that's going to go to Facebook and YouTube. Best Mom. Okay, thank you for reminding me of that. All right, so that was it. See how quick that was? That was the little thing. Now the needle is where the light blue flower is going to start, so I don't need to do anything with that. But you see the back now? I just have that one tail from the last stitch. I don't have a nest happening. So we're going to not only switch the top thread, but we're also going to switch the bobbin thread. Okay, and I'm doing that baby blue color. top thread. Okay. Thread my needle. And I'm also going to put it through the presser foot. There we go. Put my hoop back on. And lower my needle. Bring it back up while I'm holding the top thread, and that gets me the bobbin thread. Hold those two off to the side. Start stitching. Let it move away. And now I can pause it. Oh, I just stabbed myself. Ay, 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 with my scissors. Okay. There we go. Right in the pinky. All right, trim that tail. Go again. These scissors are pointy on the end. You gotta be careful. I was gonna say not bleeding, but I am a tiny, tiny bit. That's okay. I'll go away in a second. All right, that's gonna stitch. And let's see. Oh, and Patty, I saw Beth and the baby this weekend. I asked her about you. My husband. So Patty's niece went to school with my husband and now works with my husband. And or I don't know if did they go to school together too, or they just worked together. I can't remember. But they work at the same hospital and everything. And we had like their annual work crawfish boil. And I saw her and the baby, and it was on the baby's first birthday. She has a little boy. All right. Okay, so that is stitching. And what I need to get ready now. This. I need my 6x10 hoop. I need stabilizer. Do I have stabilizer? Let's see. I got some. All right, so that is all done. So that's it for freestanding lace. How easy is that? Right? Super duper easy. All done stitching. The back just has those little tails, which we're gonna cut off. And now let me show you what to do with this once you have it stitched. Unfortunately, we have a lot of waste when it comes to the stabilizer. If you have a smaller hoop, which I don't think I have the small hoop for these machines. They have a hoop that's only like 1.5 by 2.5. If you could stitch it in there, then you'll have less stabilizer waste. But what you want to do is go and trim this close to your stitches without cutting them on accident. Trim the stabilizer. I don't find it pulls well, like it doesn't tear away very easily. So I did cut the tail when I cut that one. This one still has a tail. I also have had recommendations for, instead of trimming the tail on the back, you can use a thread burning tool. And this is like, it instantly has an element on the end. And it gets like instantly hot when I press this button, and it will literally burn that and singe that thread off. And that singe creates like an expansion that will prevent that thread from coming undone. So that's the thread burning tool is great for that as well. Now, once you have trimmed your freestanding lace and got the tail, you know, trimmed your tail or singed it and trimmed as much stabilizer as you could off, then you are going to let it soak in some water and let that stabilizer dissolve. Now what I did was I let mine soak for a little while. You can also run it under the sink, have water running through it. It will dissolve faster. But once it has dissolved, I took it out, I pat it with a towel. And then this is something a friend showed me too. I went to Hobby Lobby and I bought one of those plastic cross stitching, I don't even know what to call it. It was a sheet. And it's that plastic cross stitch grid, I guess. And I cut the sheet in half, and then I used some yarn to go in and out the little holes to stitch it to make myself an envelope. And what you will find now, these is so little, it probably won't, but larger freestanding lace items, they tend to curl as they dry and not lie super flat like you want to. So what you can do is after the water has dissolved, you pat it dry with a towel, put it in here overnight to dry. And so the openings in the grid will allow airflow and for it to dry, but it also keeps it flat so that they don't curl up as they're drying. So that's what I did with these last night. I let them sit in here and now I have nice flat flowers. Okay, so any questions about freestanding lace? Okay, yes, Patty said they did go to school together. And the baby, yeah, he's so cute. So stinking cute. He was so happy yesterday. He was just smiling for everybody. So yeah, I was talking to Beth. I'm like, how's Aunt Patty doing? I tell her I talked to you, you know, during the lives and everything. So, okay. Now, let's get everything. So I'm going to put these off to the side. And now we're going to get things ready for the quilting. Okay. So again, our finished block is 12 inches by 10 inches. I cut a piece of batting exactly that, 12 by 10. My background fabric is bigger, I think 12 and a half by 10 and a half. You can trim this down after, it's okay. And I interfaced it with the SF-101 like I have all the rest of my blocks. So plastic canvas, thank you, Janet. That's what it's called. So I have my background fabric, I have my batting. What I'm going to do is, did I ever get a new, is this a new bottle? My spray adhesive was acting funny. Yeah, this one's better. So spray some adhesive on the back and then lay your batting as centered as you can. Okay. All right. Now, on the front side, what I kind of do is I feel where my batting is. Now, you can quilt this whole entire thing, but like I said, it's a little bit bigger than it needs to be. So what I'm doing is I'm just trying to corner this on where the corner of my actual batting is. Something like that. I feel like this piece of fabric should have been bigger. I don't have a lot for my seam allowance, but I will make it work. It is okay. All right, so I'm putting my clear blue tile. I think there is good. That feels right. And once I think that's where I want it, I'm going to use a water-soluble marker and draw the crosshairs where the little cutout is. And since I'm only matching it up on one side, I'm going to do that, this, and this. If I was doing another hooping up here and down here and over here, I would go around this whole thing and mark where these blue lines are in all four corners and then the centers of each side. Okay. And I'm doing the same design, but I'm just going to go ahead and write 6 by 10 so that I remember that's the size design I need. And now I'm going to use these marks that I did here to line me up and make my other crosshair. Okay, I don't need to make any other marks because I'm not going anywhere else. And that's 6 by 10. Okay. So that's it. So that's how I'm figuring I'm doing 2 hoopings. My first hooping, I'm going to center it here. Second hooping, I'm going to center here. And I'm going to make sure when I drop my needle, it drops right in that center blue mark y'all can see. I'm going to make sure the needle falls right there, and then I know I have this all lined up the way I want to. If you don't have clear blue tiles, you could essentially do the same thing with a printout of the background quilting design. Use that as a tile and make marks around it, and even maybe snip yourself a little hole right in the center so that you can go through the paper and make a center mark. Or once you've done these sides, you can take it off and use a ruler to draw your crosshairs. But all you're doing is marking up your background fabric so that you know exactly where to hoop each time, and you have your center mark, and you know that's where your needle is going to fall, and this is where your design is going to stitch. Okay, now this is the stars. I think this is the same thing. What did we do this one for last week? I can't remember. One of the ribbons blocks, maybe? Yeah, it was also stars 11. So, oh, I think I have this wrong. I have 12 by 10, but the quilting says 8 by 10. Let me double check on this. There might be a typo. Or we know that we were going to have to do clear blue tiles for this one. Okay. So the block, 10.5 by 12.5 by 10.5, yes. And then the final cutting, oh, it's actually 8.5 by 10.5. Okay, so I have it much bigger than I need it to be. We're going to trim it to only 8.5 by 10.5. So I should have made my batting smaller. My batting I should have made 8 by 10, but that's fine. What I'll do is I'll end up trimming it. I will trim it away on the edges so that it's not in my seam allowance. So I'm probably doing a lot more than I need to, but it's okay. It's just 2 hoopings and it's good. All right, now 6 by 10 hoop. And get the out the way. 6 by 10 hoop and stabilizer. I think I ran out of my smaller pieces of stabilizer, so let's cut a new piece. And I need 12 inches. Something like that. This is just me cutting strips of stabilizer. You can do your stabilizer however you want. I do 12-inch strips that are the width of the muslin. Oops, I didn't do a good job. The cotton muslin that I buy by the yard. I'll cut 12-inch strips of the width of the fabric. So like this is another one. And so you see I have like a long strip, and I can hoop, 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 and I just keep moving down. Actually, I wonder if this one being, no, still not tall enough that way. Okie dokie. So have your stabilizer. And hoop. There we go. Make sure it's nice and tight. And now, because we are floating our background fabric basted to our batting, we're floating this on here. So we need to know where to float it to. And we're going to use a marker to mark the center of my hoop. Okay. And if you don't have a grid that came with your hoop, if your hoop has marks where you can go from there to get the center, or another solution is Kimberbell has a free cross stitch design. So no matter what hoop you have, it will go and stitch a very simple crosshair in the middle. You just stitch it on your stabilizer, and then that will serve as your marks of exactly where to float your design. I'm going to spray that. And then something I've done is I will use a ruler to try and fold this right on the center. But it doesn't always work that great because I need to get the horizontal line. I think that will work. Nope. I could already see it wasn't. There we go. So I just kind of pick things up and make sure, because that spray is really forgiving, I will do that. So now I think I have this hooped right on top of my placement marks. I'm going to bring it to my machine. I'm going to drop my needle and make sure it goes in that center. And if it doesn't, I can move my design so that it does. All right. I don't think I have that background embroidery design on my USB stick, so I'm going to do that real quick. No, this guy. Okay, so let me find my designs. So let's see. Here we go. So this is a background quilting. I need stars 11, embroidery files, and I'm not doing block by block now. I'm doing clear blue tiles. Pick your format of choice, and I'm doing the 6x10. What am I doing? 6x10? Yes. So if that's 6x8, this must be it. Let me look at it as a list so I could really make sure I get the right one. This one. No, this one. 6x10. So I'm going to double click. That's going to open in Brilliance. Let me change my hoop. So what you're going to notice is with other 6x10 background quilting designs that we do the block by block method, you notice that it has the stitching to place and tack down your batting and your background fabric, and those fall sometimes outside of the hoop. But when it's just the background quilting, it fits in it perfectly. So this is what I need to save. And I'm going to do save stitch file as, I got it in my USB stick. This is my folder. I'm going to write 6x10 BQ for background quilting. Save. And now I just need to eject my USB stick, and we will go to the machine and start stitching that out. right, and according to my cheat sheet, I'm doing this in a cream color, the background quilting in cream. So load my hoop and go home. And put my USB stick in. Give it a second to read. Oh, before I do that, you know, I still have the blue bobbin thread in. So let me take this out. And here's my normal white 90 weight bobbin thread I always use. Load that. Oh goodness, Ozzy is fussing. I'm gonna go get my dog in a second. Let's get this started. Okay, there's my thread in my USB stick. I'm gonna find my design, set, load my cream colored thread. Okay, that's all ready. Okay, so now is when we check, make sure that my needle falls right there. So I'm gonna drop my needle and it is below the mark. Let's see if it allows me to move it up. Let's see. Okay, now I'm gonna drop my needle right in the middle. Perfect. Okay, so that is what you do when you loaded your design and you didn't float it perfectly. You should have some arrow buttons to move your design and just nudge it around and then lower your needle and keep doing that until when you lower your needle, it goes right in your center mark. Okay, so everything's ready. I can hit embroidery and I can start stitching. I'm gonna let that stitch and I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna go take care of my dog. Yes, Ozzy. Come here. Here, play with it. He wants to go lay in my daughter's bed with the cat. But as soon as he lay down with the cat, then the cat starts aggravating him. That's what happens every time. Okay, so this is stitching. That looks good. This won't take long at all. Okay. All right, so I do have a typo on my cheat sheet. And I wrote batting size 10 by 12. The batting size is really 8 by 10. So I thought this block was a lot bigger, but it's not. It's 8 by 10 is the final size. So I'm going to end up trimming my batting after. But that's not a big deal at all. All right. Okay, Linda is asking, where did I get that blue plastic stiletto? Got it on Amazon. I think it's linked on the home page for this sew along. But it's made by Clover, and I love it. It's got like a silicone piece here, and then a pointy plastic piece on this side. But I use this all the time, trying to not put my fingers in there when I need to hold something down or move it. But yeah, and then I totally forgot to mention all that when we started today's class. Let's go look at the sew along homepage. Okay, so for any friends that are joining us for the first time, the first link you should see under this video will bring you to my website, and this is the homepage for the sew along. It's going to give you all the information, including our live class schedule, which I did update it. since I canceled some classes last week. So we now have 2 extra classes. Unfortunately, though, the way my schedule is, I need to do one on Memorial Day. My husband's working all day that day. I don't think we're going to do anything. If we do, it's going to be after lunch anyway. So I'm okay with doing a class that morning. If y'all have plans and things to do, by all means, watch the replay later. And then the Thursday that week will be our last class. I'm thinking we should have it all done by then. But worst case, if we don't, we'll add another class on there. Oh, my stitching's done. So let me grab that. Okay. But for what's important, this is the replays for all the classes we've done. Oh, this one's not showing up. Okay, so I think today's class number 9. So that's going to pop up here after. And then here are links to all the supplies for everything I'm using, from designs to fabric to little things. Here we go. Clover stiletto. That's what Linda was asking about. So yeah, that's on Amazon. You can see I bought it. I bought a second one last year. I've been having it for a long time, but it's around $15 on Amazon. But yeah, everything is on there for you, including all of the replays. All right, wrong camera, this camera. Okay, we are done stitching the first half of our background quilting. So what you are going to need to do is, unhoop. And you are going to need to trim this stabilizer. Oops, cut my fabric a little bit. That's okay. Is this on the edge? So we're gonna trim the stabilizer away. And we are going to re-hoop on this side, and we'll have the same quilting, and you won't even be able to tell that it was done in 2 hoopings. Okay. Okay, have that pushed down. I need to make my placement marks again. And then once those are made, keep putting this ruler away thinking I'm done with it. I'm not. You can draw some crosshairs. Okay. Spray with some temporary spray adhesive. And then we are going to float this on here. And like I said, I just keep pulling it up. Okay, that looks good. And then smooth it out and press it down once you think you have it in the right spot. And we'll do the same process we did a second ago, but I need to make sure my needle falls. See, now it's a little too high. So I need to go back. And now I get back to my moving screen. Still a little too high. One more notch. There we go. That's right where I want it. And always end up pulling this out too much. Embroider, lower presser foot, and go. Let's see. I hate when I have a tail. So I had a tail at the beginning. Just trim that so it doesn't like get stitched down to the quilting. But what's going to happen here is it's going to go all along the side, and you're not going to be able to tell that this quilting was done in two different steps. It looks like everything's going to flow nicely. And that's how the clear blue tile designs are made. They're made in a way so that you could put them together kind of like a jigsaw puzzle of hoopings, and it will all flow nicely when it's done. Hey Shay, good morning. We're just working on the from C to C block today. Let's see. Mary says you can just make a hole in the stabilizer to remove, then patch the stabilizer. I do this all the time. I do that with sticky tearaway. Mary, I do that with sticky tearaway. I don't do that with, in this case, I'm using lightweight cotton muslin or cutaway stabilizers. For that, it doesn't work for me. I only use it for sticky tearaway when I patch a hole from a design that I previously stitched out. But let us know if you have any tips on how you do that with things other than sticky tearaway. I'd like to know. Oops. Okay. So that is stitching. And let me look ahead and see what tips they have for centering our design. Okay, nothing special about how we're gonna hoop this after. Good morning, Doris and Arva. Hope y'all are having a great morning. Okay, so we are now done with all of the background quilting for this design, and you can see it goes together really well. All right. Now we are going to take this at the hoop, trim the stabilizer, and rehoop using the 5x7 hoop next. The whole thing is done. Okay, so now we have our large piece of fabric that is completely pre-quilted, and we are ready to stitch the actual applique design in the center of this now. So we are going to use a 5x7 hoop. And using same stabilizer, lightweight cotton, muslin, or you can use poly mesh if you would like. Make sure that's nice and tight. And we need the grid for this one. Do I have that close by? I don't think so. Let me find the grid for this. So this fits right in there, and we'll do the same thing. Okay, have our placement lines drawn, and right. Okay, now I kind of already have center marks here because I made this and I made this. But look, that's the center, and I have a nice horizontal line here. The only thing I don't have is a real vertical line this way. So if I wanted to, I can draw one using all the marks that I have. Something like that. So there we go. So now let me do a little bit this way too, so I really got it going across here, so I know right where my needle needs to fall. And we're going to do the same thing we did for the other ones. I am just eyeballing. Okay. And now I want to make sure my needle is going to fall right in that mark right there. Okay, but I do need to send the design. Let's get to it. So let's see. Let me go back to my icons. And okay, so these are my normal embroidery designs for the quilt. Pick your format of choice, and we are looking for this one right here, C to C. Okay, so this is what we're stitching. Let's get a look at it because I haven't really broken it down. Okay, so we have placement stitch for our applique, tack down stitch. Then we have some fill stitches of islands. We have some leaves. We have something blue. What is that? I can't tell what it's stitching. Oh, this is a placement stitch for this flower applique, then tack down, placement stitch for that flower applique, tack down, then the final stitch, and then what's this? Some filled stitch, some pink filled stitch, a center there. Okay, then we have a center there, and then this is a placement for one of the freestanding lace bits. So that's going to show you where to put it. We're probably going to tape that right there, and then this stitch is actually going to tack it down. That is going to go right in the center of the flower. And then it's going to do the same thing over here somewhere. It's going to do a placement, and then this is going to tack it down, and it's going to be a freestanding lace flower right here. So that is how this design is going to go. That's the last stitch. So you don't need to do anything to this design, but send it to your machine. So I'm going to write C to C and save. And I need to eject my, oops, eject this guy. And then we will stitch it on the machine. And I'm going to see what colors we need. Also, it looked like the applique of the big United States is like a bean stitch finish, which means the raw edge of the fabric is not going to be covered up. And that also means I personally am going to make sure I do my tack down stitch the same color as my finishing stitch. And I want to say, I can't, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know if they did separate it in 3. They might only have a placement, and the tack down is the same as the finishing. All right, but I know I'm going to start with navy thread because that was all in navy. And give the machine a minute to read my USB stick. Oh, that's a good idea. Okay, so Linda has a great idea for personalizing. I love this. She thinks she is going to put the East Coast flower near upstate South Carolina. So I can't really tell where it is now, but South Carolina would maybe be over here. So what she's saying is she wants to make her flower more like where she's located. Like I could do the same thing. I think that's supposed to be Louisiana right there. That'd be like right at the bottom of the boot. I could make a flower right here if I wanted to. I could even have multiples. So like, say I still like the look of a flower over here, but I want to add one right here. What I could do is just copy all the elements of one of the flowers. So like, I think this is the smaller one. So I could take these 2 pieces and hit copy, paste. So now I got 2 of them. And I can move them right there. And I would just stitch another freestanding lace flower, and I would have a flower where I'm located, just to have, something special. No matter where you are in the United States, you can put flowers anywhere. You can copy any of these, whether it be the freestanding lace one or the pretty applique one. Just go and grab like all the pieces of that flower, and they have a copy button here and they have a paste button here, and then you just drag it to the spot in the design where you want it. And you'll just need some extra pieces of applique or stitch out some more freestanding lace pieces, and you can do them in different colors maybe to make them stand out. Or I think Linda also said you can put flowers for where your relatives are in the country. So that's an excellent idea. I love that. Thank you for sharing that, Linda. Okay, so what am I doing? Getting to my design and finding my United States. There we are. Set and edit. Okay, so now I am where my arrows are. Let me see. Ooh, that's good. I can maybe go up and over 1 smidge. Perfect. Okay, so that's right where it needs to be. I don't have it threaded yet, so just the needle going up and down was good. Okay. Now I can hit embroidery and lower my presser foot. And the first step is going to be the outline of our United States. Now, I did not worry about removing all of these marks before I started this because my applique fabric is really dark. So this blue marker is not going to show through. If you were doing your United States in a very light colored fabric, you would want to remove these marks. Like as soon as I got my hoop and design and my needle went down right in the right spot, everything's set. I could take my hoop off the machine and use my Tide pen or water or whatever and get all of those marks off of here before I started stitching. So I did want to bring that to your attention. I know I'm using a super dark fabric, so it's not a big deal. But if you are not using the fabric kit, using your own, and the you're scared these marks from the water soluble pen are gonna show through, you'd either have to soak the whole thing after, which I wouldn't want to do. But go ahead and remove it. Once you know your crosshairs, everything is set, you can start removing those. And I think a Tide pen works great for removing these marks super quickly without having to get them soaking wet. Okay, this is the fabric for the United States. I'm pretty sure, right? I did this right? Yes, this is the fabric. And we are just going to cut this. Now, this is super intricate stitching. Like the shape of the United States is like really, really good. I'm not going to be able to cut all that intricately. I'm just going to go with as best as I can. So I just want to point that out to you now. It is a really detailed stitch line. I'm not going to be able to trim that well, and I'm not worried about it. Okay, lower stitch. This is the placement stitch. I mean, not the placement, the tack down. And then I can't remember, is the tack down also the finishing? Let me go back and look at Embrilliance and see. Placement, tack down, then it does the islands. Yeah, so step number 2 is not only your tack down line, but it is also what we're calling your finishing stitch. So this needs to be in your color choice that you are doing this applique in. There's not another stitch after this for the overall shape of the country. I just realized I have not drank my coffee yet this morning. It's time for coffee. Hi, Jenny. I hope you don't have any cavities. Let's see, Linda. Oh, I like this too, Linda. So you can go grab like a tiny heart filled stitch design from anything you have already. I'm sure Kimberbell has some little hearts somewhere. And you can put those in spots where either you're located or family is located. That's super cute as well. Love that. So let me look at this design and see if they have a heart anywhere that we could steal. They have stars, so you could, they have plenty of stars. Let's pull up the one of the blocks we made already. The stars and florals. This is the first block we made. These stars are a little big, but not bad. So you could go grab either a little flower from this design, just highlight it, copy it, and then paste it on your United States, or you can go grab these 2 stars are on the smaller side. So lots of options. Or if you have another design altogether, I don't see, we have this applique heart, but that's probably too big. Like I was thinking of like something tiny that's a little filled heart. You would be able to to go and put that in your spot. Okay. The tack down is finished. And you can kind of see, because I did it in navy thread, it's a little hard, but you could see that. Like I said, this is fairly intricate. I am not that, like, I'm decent at trimming. I don't think I'm that decent at trimming. We'll go see. But I am going to trim this along that stitch line. I'm not trying to get right next to the stitch line, because usually with these kinds of appliques, I don't try to get super close. I like it to have a little bit of fabric poking out past it like this. But I'm just doing the best I can going around this. Okay, I'm guessing that's supposed to be like maybe Massachusetts right there. Or Long Island, I can't tell. So I got some spots where it looks like it goes in where the Great Lakes are, but I can't get my scissors into there, so I'm just doing the best I can. And it's like bumpy along California here. Just, I think Alaska's going to be tough because they got a lot of little pieces poking out there. I got my little boot around the bottom of Louisiana, and then we got the Florida Peninsula. Okay, so I got around the states. Now Alaska looks to be a little more tricky. Okay, not too bad, not too bad. Okay, so like I said, this is a raw edge applique. This is when I typically would use Heat and Bond Light on the back of my applique fabric instead of SF101, but I find myself not doing that for these Kimberbell projects. So that's going to be a personal preference for you. Trying to get in that Great Lake right there. And then you see I got some stray fabric. You don't usually have that with the Heat and Bond Light, like these little threads coming out. It usually keeps that pretty contained on the edges. Okay. Just trying to clean this up, and then I'm going to take my little wet roller and get all those little pieces. Okay. This guy. Okay, I think that looks good. So we are all done with trimming that applique. And the next step is it's going to go do some of the islands off of Alaska, and then Hawaii it's just going to do and filled stitch. And keeping that navy thread on. Oh, and Sherry just made me think of something when she said embellishment kit. Another thing you can do, because I could have went back and started, but I'm in a mood where I just like trying to get this done. What I can do is, since I had already started stitching this when we talked about adding things, what I could do is add buttons to it after. So there are some buttons in the embellishment kit. I don't know how many we have and where they're supposed to go, I think. But something I could do after the fact is I can put some cute little heart or star buttons or even rhinestones with my rhinestone gun of where I have family or where we live in the United States, so that you can think of it as an afterthought as well. If you've already stitched yours out, we can add embellishments at the very, very end after the quilt is all put together, and customize our United States applique with cute things. Oh yeah, and Tina said there are all kind of shapes and brilliance too that they're in there for free in the library that you can use. Great point. Oh yay, Sherry said we have some deals of the day on Kimberbell. Let's go shopping. Let's go shopping. Okay, so I have it on here. Where is it at? Because this is where I get most of my Kimberbell stuff I find on sale. And right here, deal of the week. So it's on the home page. You could click on it. Okay, let's see. This, we're not, you can use this background quilting. This you can use. This is the red, white, and bloom quilting set. You can also substitute and use that. Oh, I have this, this perfectly piece. This was the first one I made. That's cute. Okay, we got this background quilting. All right, this is actual background quilting for the quilt we're doing. And then this is a Main Street Celebrations. I started that last year and never finished it. That's on my to-do list. Red, white, and bloom is a cute quilt as well. Oh, I like this one. I don't know if I have this. I might need this. I should not be on here. Oh, I love these. They're so cute. I love the punch needle kits. Let's see. Here's the Star Spangled Beauty embellishment kit. We're using that. Oh, yay. And Star Spangled Beauty designs. I love the needle minder. So everything is on sale this week. Oh, I love this one. Love this perfectly pieced set. I think I'm definitely going to go get that one. So cute. There's so many things. Okay. Punch needle sets. I think I have these. I need to go look at my stash before I buy things. I'm pretty sure I don't have this. I need to go look. But what we're making today, so you would need the Star Spangled Beauty ladder quilt. This is going to give you all of the designs, like the United States applique, the cherries applique, the vase, the 8-point stars, the house, like all the things you see on top, that comes in here. what we do underneath all of these is what we call background quilting. And that is right here. And this is what we stitch first. And then we stitch the applique or the design on top. They have some super cute ones in here that I see myself using again in the future. And that is this plaid one and this floral one. They're so, so pretty. And then another thing you can get, I would say is optional, but very handy, is the embellishment kit. This has all the ribbons. It has some pieces of denim fabric that we use for some applique, the lace, and then some button and pearl embellishments, and the clear vinyl that we use for the frame designs. Okay, we are done with the stitching the islands in that navy blue filled stitch. Okay, what's next? Next we need mint, I think. Let me double check. I'm picking the right colors. It really doesn't matter, but I do like my colors to go along with their color scheme. The heart one is mint. Yes. So mint leaves. I'm still trying to finish this spool. So I think I can get all the leaves with what's left on here. Okay, lower and go. But yeah, that's exciting. Everything for this project is on sale this week. So if you've just been watching for fun and not ordered anything yet, now's the time to do it. We're in the second week of May 2026. So if you're watching the replay, it might not be on sale anymore, but it should be on sale on Kimberbell's website all this week. I'll pause it just a second because tails. Okay. Let's see. We could zoom in now that we're just looking at the little things. Doesn't seem very bright there. Let me pause this for a second. I know I can turn the light on, but I thought the light makes it harder for y'all to see. Y'all can see it. Okay. There we go. And hopefully that makes it better for y'all. Okay, so we got some questions. Linda's like, of course I bought it when it wasn't on sale. I'm sorry. That happens to me all the time too. So Joanne's asking, so Linda, our friend here, she also lives in Southern Louisiana. She sent me a recommendation for a machine service repairman that works on Brother. I think he works on multiple brands, but I contacted him about servicing some of my machines. He has not come yet. He's coming on May 26th. So I'm really excited about it. This is the first time I'm doing something like this because previously I've brought my machines to a Brother dealer and had them serviced, or even a Baby Lock dealer. But I'm at a stage now where I don't want to move my giant machines, and I don't want to go 3 weeks without them. So this guy is coming to my house, and he is going to service 3 of my machines. He's going to service my Brother Stellaire. That's the one that I usually stitch all these with, but I'm having trouble with. So she's taking a break. And I'm getting him to go ahead and service my Brother 6 needle while he's here. And the last one he's going to service is my Ricoma 10 needle, because I want to get that one serviced and I want to sell it because I don't use it. I tend to always go to my Brother single needle and my Brother 6 needle. And I don't have space in my room to keep all of them. So I want to get it serviced, make sure it's good and running, and then I'm going to put it for sale. And so he's come and spend the whole day with me, and I am going to be filming. I'm going to ask his permission first. I haven't talked to him about it yet. Cross my fingers. He's going to be okay with me filming him do some of the repairs, especially for the two brother machines. And I'm going to ask him tons of questions. And so we're all going to collectively learn. And I'm going to share it all with you. So that's going to be coming at the end of the month. Elsa X, what brand thread do I use? I have a variety of mostly Exquisite, which is made by Dime, and Glide, which something's not right. We got a thread break. Thread break. Okay. All right. Oh, the thread is hooked on the spool. They got hooked on the spool, and so it made the tension so tight it broke. And that's because the spool is coming to it's coming to an end. So let me keep an eye on this, and I need to back up. I don't know how much I need to back up, so I'm doing it a lot. Okay. And let's go from here. Oh, there it goes. Okay, I'm just watching my spool now. Make sure it feeds off of it nicely. There we go. Yeah, so I'm like helping my spool unwind nicely right now so that it doesn't get caught up again. And that's because it's at the very end of the spool. A little harder to unwind. Let's see how it does now. That's doing fine. Mostly just in one spot, it was giving it trouble. I'm definitely getting to a point where I'm playing chicken with the tool. Oh, there it goes. Ah. Okay. Okay, let's see how much we have left. That's it. Okay, done with that spool. Let me show you what I have left. That's all that's left of that guy. But yeah, when it was coming undone, it was like getting stuck and it was pulling the whole spool up. And that's where it was causing tension and causing that thread break. Okay, next stitch is we need one of the reds, the red with the white dot in the middle on the color chart. And that is the more regular red color, not the maroon color. Okay, and I think now we're going to be working on the placement for some of those applique flowers. I think that's what's coming up. Okay, and the first one is the solid red. We having bad weather again, I hear thunder or something outside. Okay, and not nice weather this weekend. And I don't know if I told y'all from the week before, but we had a tornado warning by our house, and that was not fun. But everything was fine, but it was just scary, you know. And I know they've had some terrible weather rip through the country recently. So if you were dealing with any of that, I send you my love and prayers. I hope everyone is okay and their houses are okay. All right, so now I am putting the solid red fabric lower in my presser foot. And this is doing a tack down stitch. This one will have the satin stitch outline. So this is going to cover up all the raw edge of your fabric. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to focus on trimming at the bottom here. Not trim it perfect, but just the bottom, because it has another flower that once I got that out the way, it should stitch it with no problem. So now it's going to be the placement stitch, and then we'll do the gingham plaid type fabric will go over that spot. Okay, so I'll put that there. Okay, now we can take the whole thing off and go trim the flowers correctly. Okay, so y'all see that? Okay, and we will trim these. I'm just getting this thread tail. There we go. Now these are going to get some really thick satin stitching going around them. So I'm like, I don't even think it's important to get in the creases of the scalloped edge, really. Probably just cut a circle around these and they're going to cover up fine. Okay, so that's one. And these you do want to trim close to that stitch line as you can, because then it'll get covered up nicely with that satin stitching. But the little cuts into the flower, I think that's all going to end up getting covered with satin stitching, no problem. Okay. See a lot of tails I never noticed earlier with all the little islands. I'm going to go and cut later. Okay, so that looks done. And now we will go and put this hoop back on, and it's going to stitch, keeping all this red thread. Let's see. Oh, this one it's going to stitch in red, and then we're going to change this one to my more burgundy color. So we're keeping with this one for the next few steps. Let's see. Okay, so after this step, then we're going to change to the maroon. And then the darker pink and the lighter pink. And then the regular blue. And that's it. Okay, so these are the last 4 colors. I got them out and ready. Okay. All right, I saw someone ask, I'm sorry, the camera looks blurry. See if we can fix that. There we go. Is that better? Yeah, it's a little better. Okay, somebody asked about punch needle. Let me go see if I got one on my shelf that I can show you. I've done one, and I have several to do. Let's see. I had it downstairs, and I think I brought it up recently, but I can't remember where I put it. Story of my life. But I have some of the kits that are not done yet. I can definitely show you. I think the ones I have are Christmas ones, yeah. I got one with one of the Bella boxes a while back, and I did do that one, but I never, they have like some embellishments you could put on at the end, and I don't think I ever finished it. Also, story of my life. I don't see it. But what punch needle is, it's something done by hand, no machine required. See, like you could sit on your sofa and do it. And you do it on a canvas, and you have a needle, and it's hooked. You have yarn, the needle threaded with a yarn, and you are punching your canvas with it. So I'll show you more detail in a second. Okay, now I'm changing to my maroon red color. This is one I got for Christmas. So it comes like this, and this is your canvas, and you can see it's the, I don't know what they call this kind of material, but it's almost like cross stitch material. It's woven, and then this is your punch needle, and you are going to thread the yarn through the punch needle. And what happens is depending on the direction of your punches, on one side it'll look like a nice flat weave, and on the other side it loops. Every time you go through, you end up just leaving it down there. There's nothing holding it but the tightness of the weave of the fabric. So on the other side is a loop of yarn, and that's where you can get like a fluffy look or a flat weave look, depending on which direction, on what side you stitch from. And like, I don't know if you could tell, but like on this one, everything's flat weave except this green leaf. You see how that one's fluffy? That is punched from the opposite direction. And then this one, it looks like they might have even cut it. I can't tell. But that's the fluffy side. And then all this white around it is flat weave too. But some of them will have a more fluffy or not. But it's really cute. and it's nice just to sit and do while you're sitting on the sofa watching a TV show. But I bought these for Christmas. I was supposed to make. Never did. Need to do that. But they come in these nice little kits. They give you everything you need too. So the Kimberbell ones are nice. I've gotten some other like cheap ones at Target in the craft section for the kids for like Halloween and Christmas. And those are like okay, but they definitely not nearly the same quality as the Kimberbell ones. Those are like really nice quality. Okay, again, we're doing the maroon for the last stitch. What is this? The tulip fill. There's another filled stitch flower. And then after this, we'll go to the darker pink, the lighter pink, and then the last few stitches are with the blue, and that's going to be what we're going to tack down our freestanding lace with. Okay, so change thread colors to the darker pink. And this is bubblegum. If you have glide thread, this is like the one color of the whole set that I actually had the one they called for. Everything else I just substituted with what I had that looked close enough. All right, stitch. Another little flower design that's fill stitched. Let's see. Elsa asked me if my thread works well on all of my machines. Yes. Yeah. I haven't had trouble with certain threads not working on certain machines. I would say they're all pretty happy with it. The only time I had that trouble was back in the day. I ordered a really cheap thread set. My first time I ordered embroidery thread, I didn't know about quality, about how embroidery thread quality changes. And those broke all the time. But I haven't run into the trouble of my machines only liking certain ones. They've all kind of worked good. Oh, this is a great idea. So Joanna said with that mint thread that I barely had a little bit left, I can wind a bobbin with it. So when I do have some in the hoop project or freestanding lace where I need a little bit of bobbin thread that color. That's a great idea. Okay, now we're changing. Oh, yeah, there's a thunder. Ooh. That doesn't sound fun at all. I'm going to have to go check the weather. What happened last week? I was up here working. So I work, I have upstairs is where my craft room is. And my husband was home last week. And we had a roll of thunderstorms come through. And there wasn't any tornado watches or warnings or anything like that. But there was a ton of lightning. And so he's like, you might want to go unplug all your machines. I'm like, okay. So I did that. And then I was just up here sitting working on the computer. And then he's like, where you at? And I was like, I'm in my craft room. He's like, get out or something. I thought he was just being silly, meaning that like he wanted me to come hang out with him downstairs and stop working while he was home, which he usually does do that. But no, it was because of all the lightning. He was like, no, you should be downstairs. I'm like, okay. And usually I'm the worry wart when it comes to weather, but he was actually worried that day. So I need to check. Okay. All right, bye, Wendy. Sorry, the camera's focusing. It's not that great. Okay, now where are we? We did the light pink. That's done. All right, and then I think everything else is with the normal blue color. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps left. Okay. All right, I think that's the center for this flower. And then the next one is going to be the placement stitch for the smaller teal, the teeny tiny one. So I'm going to put these here. Okay, so now we're doing placement stitch. It does a jump. Okay, so that's where this guy should go. And saying we should tape it down. But this thing is so little, like I don't even see how we can tape it. I'm going to be brave and just let it go right there. And I might hold it with my stiletto. Yeah, the presser foot's holding it down, so it's like it really can't go anywhere. Okay. Yep, that's done. It's a little off center, but it's fine. Okay, now we're stitch the placement for this guy. Okay. I'm just trimming thread tails. And that looks about right. Yep. So those are those freestanding lace pieces that I covered at the beginning of class. You're just pretty much using them almost as an applique piece, and they're just getting tacked down with the center mark. That's it. We're done. Isn't that cute? How cute is that? I love it. Yeah, Patty says she keeps her machines unplugged. I should be better about that. All right, actually, let me check the weather on my phone real quick and see. Yeah, there's a line of storms. Oh, it ain't even here yet. Look, I'm the blue dot. This is what's coming. Let's see. I'm just getting the top of it. Oh yeah, it's coming. It is coming. Okay, so we are going to finish up, and then I am going to unplug all of my machines. That's what I'm going to do. All right, so there are tons of little thread tails on here, and that's because this is so thick with the stabilizer, the batting, the background fabric, then the applique on top of that, and everything's interfaced. Like, there's a lot going on, so my machine was not good at sucking the tails back down when it started stitching like it usually does. So lots of little thread tails poking up. There's one little jump stitch between islands. Okay, so that all looks good. So came out very, very cute. And we need to unhoop. Yeah, we talked about going to eat lunch with my mom today too, because she was out of town yesterday and didn't get in till late. So I was like, we can go eat lunch on Monday after my sew along, but nope. We should definitely stay home. That weather coming. Okay, so that is trimmed. And now is when, if you wanted to remove all of your marks, you can do so. What happens though sometimes is if I don't get them off really good, when I iron this, it'll come back a little bit. Then I'll just get them off again. But you see what I mean, where like I wasn't worried about getting the lines that were under the United States because I knew that blue fabric was going to cover it up nicely. But if you used a light colored fabric, if you did an opposite color scheme as with me, with do a dark background and light country, then you may want to remove those marks before you applique, or you just end up soaking the whole thing and it'll come out. Okay, that looks good. Turn my iron on. So I'm going to give this a light press. Make sure that it's nice. And then we are using the 8x10 clear blue tile, which I have to find. This guy? No, that's a square. This guy. So this is where we're trimming when we're done. So we're just kind of eyeballing the center because I don't have anything on here. Like I have these center marks. I can, if I do it from the back, I can line that up with that and that. That's what I'm gonna do. So I have my blue lines are still there from the back, and there are center marks on the clear blue ruler. So that's what I'm gonna do to line up and make sure I got it centered. I'm gonna cut it from the back. Okay. Back up. Do that, and then this is my ironing mat. Okay, that looks good. All right, and now That is pressed nicely. I'm gonna do, like I said, I'm gonna line up that. Like that. That looks good. Okay. Now the only thing with this one that is a mess up on my part is I should have made my batting smaller so that I would. This is not locked in like it's supposed to be. There we go. If I would have made my batting the right size of 8 by 10, this would work out nicely where after trimming it, I still wouldn't have any batting in my seam allowance. But because I cut my batting too big, I am going to have batting in my seam allowance on this one. So I'm going to do my best to see if I can go and trim it out, because I got my quilting going all over it. So it's not like I could do something like the ruler by George and pull it up and trim it, because my quilting is kind of messing that up. I feel like I didn't cut good everywhere, so it's, again, I'm not usually cutting batting at this point, so it's a little more to cut through than usual. Okay, we're getting there. There we go. All right, so this is our finished block for today. Throw some fun stuff around it. I like to do that when I take a picture. Okay. All right, took some pictures with my phone. And that is all for today. Joanna's, girl, I need to change my rotary blade. Yes, ma'am. I got some. I need you to tell me these things, because you know I'm going to keep using this until like I just keep going over things 30 times. I might finally get fed up and think about changing it. But it's good that you tell me to change it. They're somewhere. I bought a big pack of them. Okay, I will do that after this is over. But yes, it turned out super cute. I love the little freestanding lace touches. And like I said, we can still embellish this with cute little buttons or rhinestones or little things to customize it for like where you live or where your family lives. So that's something to think about as well. Or you can do like we talked about at the beginning and copy some of the flowers and paste them in different spots, or even go and grab a little heart or star design from somewhere else and paste those in where you want. All right, so yay, I'm so glad this helped you. Okay, I'm looking. Yeah, leather looks bad, embroidery looks pretty. That's a good one. All right, so that's it for today. I'm going to clean up my mess and I'm going to turn everything off, unplug everything. So in case we have a lot of lightning, nothing gets messed up, because that would be terrible. Other than that, let's see, I did open up enrollment for my enthusiast course. So if you have been waiting to enroll in that, it is open and it's on sale this week. After Friday, I will have it to where you can enroll all the time, but the price is going to go up to the normal price, and then I'll have sales every once in a while. Our next class is Wednesday. Let's see what tomorrow. I have something too tomorrow. If you are in my From Start to Stitch course, we have a monthly Q&A for from Start to Stitch students where they can come and ask me anything about their machine or embroidery in general. We're having that live tomorrow if you are in that course. Wednesday, I will be back here on YouTube and Facebook, and we are going to be working on the filler pieced blocks. So we're going to go over what filler blocks are in general. There's two different kinds for this quilt. There is one that has like 3 pieces of fabric that are already pieced together. Oh, and good news, I got my Juki back. My dad brought it back to me, so I can sew now. So we're going to piece 3 pieces of fabric together first, and then all we're going to do is put background quilting on it. That's what a filler block is. Some of them have like the pieced look, so it's 3 different fabrics. Others is just one same piece of fabric, and we just put background quilting on it. We're going to do that, and we're going to go over the 8-point star, which I'm very excited about. I have not made one of these before in the hoop, and I need to look ahead, but they have 3 of those in the quilt. We're going to do one of them live, and then the other 2 is going to be your homework. Same thing for the filler blocks. There are several filler blocks in the quilt. We're going to do one live. The rest is going to be homework. Oh no, we're going to do, I see this now. I'm looking ahead. Wednesday, we're going to go over the pieced filler blocks. Friday, we're going to go over the regular filler blocks. So I didn't try to put it all together in one show. So that's good. All right. So that's Wednesday. Thursday, I think, is the only day I don't have a live. And then Friday, I'll be back and we'll do the patchwork quilt and the regular filler blocks. Okay. So that is it for today. I hope you have a great rest of your Monday. And yeah, Joanna, a little heart on Louisiana. I think I'm going to go. I have these cute little buttons, but these are circles. I'm going to go see if I have some little heart buttons. I might do that and put it right there. So y'all have a great rest of your Monday, and I hope to see y'all in the next class. Bye, everyone.